Hi, everybody. So I'm the last one for today. Thank you for sticking with me. We're going to talk about making sure that AI puts the human at the center and that it solves real-world problems and brings real value for really high complexity and high value use cases. And for that, we need more than chatbots. That's why we say chatbot will kill innovation. And the first thing we can say is about us. We are Ask for the Moon. We are a 25-people team, so this photo is a bit old. It's from 6 months ago. We worked with a lot of big industrial players in France, Europe, and the world. And our job is knowledge management. So we make sure that knowledge flows fast at scale, so people can actually crack real-world problems with our platform. And to introduce it, I think the best way is to actually start with real-world examples. So this is what happens every day on our platform. We have people at Airbus that ask questions, for example, here about manufacturing engineering. And we make sure that people that are the most competent, the most skilled to answer, are actually notified and ask the question so they can share their knowledge. And when you want to bring value to Airbus, you actually notice that some knowledge is in Hamburg, some in Saint-Nazaire, some in Paris. And our ability to find the right people at the right time and put them in the right conversation can help people save months on their manufacturing process or other kind of innovation processes where you need to go from what you do now to what you do tomorrow. And inventing the new way of doing things can be really fast forward when you actually find out who in the company already did that before. At Framatome, we have the same issue. Someone needs to model what happens in the reactor core of Flamanville, and they find people around them. But what if the answers they find are false? What happens if you have wrong input when you are trying to model a nuclear power plant? Again, finding the right people, those who are experts in the matter, and they can say, no, this is not the right way to do it. This is the way to actually find the right solution, avoid mistakes, avoid accidents, and spread the knowledge that actually makes sense for everyone. And this is not new. We have been sharing and creating knowledge this way for millenniums. And this is actually the theory behind it. It has been written down by Nonaka and Takeshi in the 70s. And the matrix, which is called the CC matrix, is always the same. You socialize, you talk together, which helps you externalize your knowledge. Then you combine the knowledge, and then you can internalize it, put it into action, and create value. This is the model of every innovation everywhere. Nothing comes magically from out of nowhere. You need people that talk together, that share experience, that bring together their own discovery on the field to actually bring the new piece of knowledge that will create value tomorrow. Chatbots decapitate the matrix. You don't have socialization, you don't have explicitation. Chatbots are great for consuming knowledge. The knowledge that is already written down in your documentation. But the knowledge that will, and we talked together today all day long, decarbonation or being able to make a difference on a field of operation, a military field of operation, being better than your competitors, this is not something that is already written down. This is something that you need to write down now in order to be better tomorrow. And what will enable you to actually find the pieces of knowledge that will make a difference are the question and answers. If you take out the socialization out of your company, you take out your ability to create new knowledge. You cannot and I'm sorry the slides are all over the place, but no socialization means no explicitation, no writing down the future. And at the end also, you take the experts, you take the people that bring the most value out of the loop. So you disengage them. The people that actually bring value, you need to recognize and put them forward. You need to make sure that are the most visible and the most listened to people within your company. If you just say, okay, let's make everyone talk with one chatbot and the chatbot will answer, you lose all this. So the solution is actually, when you want to create the quickest way to the knowledge you need, the knowledge of tomorrow, you need to actually build the shortest routes between the people. And the shortest routes can definitely be built with generative AI. Not by chatbots, but by clever use case of generative AI. And this is the way we do it at Ask for the Moon. Our job is to make sure that space and time is shrinking down so the right people talk together at the right time. So we can help those with questions ask better questions. This is the part where you socialize. And our AI, with especially our neural network, is able to pinpoint each question to the right people across the company. So we find the right colleagues for you, so the right people participate in the conversation. This is socialization. And then we make sure that each answers are correct, well written. We help translate, we help reformulate. And this is the way for us to get individual answers. But then you still need to combine them. This is a combination. And once they are combined, translated, written down, and also sourced from papers and documents you already have, then you have your new piece of knowledge. And then you really took the better out of everyone in your company, from the field to the R&D, to create the new piece of knowledge that can make a difference, and you make it available to everyone. And this is how you actually put the little discoveries, the little innovation, and make sure that are available and spread at scale. And all these blue lines, these are generative AI applications. And nowhere you see a robot answering instead of a man. You have people talking together, people taking responsibility, people being recognized, people being thanked, being visible, but also people that have a much further reach thanks to generative AI. They can breach borders of languages, of distance, of time. And we actually have found that our model enables experts that sometimes have a very complicated way to tell their knowledge. We help them actually reformulate it and make it available for people that are much less experts in these fields. So this is another distance we breach. It's the pedagogical distance. Sorry about that. It's late for me too. And you see, when you try to do that in an environment when you build nuclear power plants, airplanes, trains, you still need a very accurate and precise model. And this is why we built ELM, the Enterprise Language Model, which includes the large language model, generative AI. That's what we talked about every day today. But we also have two other bricks. The vector database, which enable to actually find the right people, find the right piece of knowledge, find the right documents to actually pre-write the answers for the experts. And you have the ontology, which we've been building since 2017, and which we are leader of. You need an ontology, a graph describing the reality of each of your customer, of each of their business lines, of their very specific trades, in order to make sure that your large language model is not going all over the place. The LLM is a statistical model. The ontology is deterministic. And this is how you actually make sure that you provide real value to those who know to help them express their knowledge and share it at scale. And this is how you make sure to actually understand what those who don't know need, the right context, the right people, the right piece of knowledge, so they are not actually consuming knowledge that is wrong for them. And the three of those are the enterprise language model, which is the core of our technology. And I conclude with that. I started with the stories of the real people, because I think you understood that for us, humans must be at the center, and that's what makes the difference. But it doesn't mean that they cannot be helped by the right technology well implemented, and that's what we do at Ask for the Moon. And as I was pretty fast, I can just invite you to ask a lot of questions if you want, but also visit us downstairs and talk with us if you want to know more. Thank you, guys.
Do we have any questions for Clément? We've got time.
So we host our own models because we have customers that cannot afford to have their data all going around. And most of the time, we use the Mistral ones. The Llama ones are not bad, but we cannot use them in nuclear or defense. There are a few others, and what we do is we actually use the right model for the right customer. And sometimes customers provide their own APIs towards their own LLMs, which we plug into our model, and we are completely transparent about that. Yes, we started by nuclear, aerospace, infrastructure, defense, and space, etc. As any company starts and has, like lucky strikes and goes into one direction or another, we are definitely talking with manufacturing, banks, and other kind of verticals.
Thank you. Yeah, what's more or less the expected lead time to have sufficient data collected from your colleagues?
So it was sometimes between 3 and 6 months to have in your community enough. But we just released a new version that helps experts pre-fill the whole database from their own documents. So now it's like, I think at Vinci, it took 2 hours for an expert to create the FAQ of their own trade. And he started at 9 in the morning, at 10 and a half it was over. But always, the expert is the one posting the knowledge and is the one recognized for it, even if he is helped by AI.
Yes, I have a question about the ontology that you mentioned. Can you give some concrete details on what it looks like and what is required from customers to build it?
So basically, it's kind of the table of content of the subjects on the platform. It looks like a graph. So you would start by, for example, at Framatome, you would have engineering, and then you would have neutronics, and then the kind of neutronics model, and it grows down like a tree, which help us actually kind of organize the knowledge that goes through the platform. It takes between 1 and 2 days to build the first version, and we do that with the expert, and we have a team for that, an operational engineering team that are actually expert into understanding the industry and implementing the ontology. And then it grows with time. And what we did is we created a really simple interface that helps the people who know create the new tags, and it goes a bit automatically. I would say to have a stable ontology on a subject that covers, let's say, 200, 300 people, it's the same time as before, 3 to 6 months to have something stable. At the beginning, you have really a big divergence, and you need some human I would say 1 hour every month for 3 to 6 months, 2 hours a month for 3 to 6 months to actually clean down, and then it's stable. But on this part too, we have a big R&D program with Framatome and Airbus and the BPI to actually create the ontology automatically from the document. And we hope we can actually scale this down in the coming months. All right. Thank you really much for listening to me, and bye-bye.